is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are MC.
When the season began, the Royals were here in Detroit to begin the quest of knocking off the three-time defending AL Central champs. 5 months later, the Royals are back in Detroit in first place with less than 3 weeks to go. Game 1 is next on Fox Sports Kansas City. Baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors, and we're at Comerica Park in Detroit. It should be a fun 3 days as the Royals have a 2-game lead in the Central over the Detroit Tigers. Hi everyone, welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre, and this is what it's all about. The Royals are facing the 3-time division champs, the Detroit Tigers. They're in front of them in the standings. You always want to talk about what's going on today and not look back. However, we should look back at the Royals taking the series from the Yankees.
Extremely impressive. 3 runs total in their 2 wins, all of them unearned, but it doesn't matter. Just get the wins. They're finding ways. Their pitching and defense is their staple, but their base running is right there, a close third. But believe me, that's been the reason that they've been winning their games, and hopefully it'll continue.
And the Royals have the 3rd best record on the road in the major leagues, with pitching leading the way, and lately Jeremy Guthrie leading the way.
That's right, Rhino. He's a warrior. He's a road warrior. He's finding ways to get it done. Look at that record, last 4 starts. It's been beautiful on the road to see what he can do. However, you see the numbers look good, but I love that run support average. For some reason, the Royals offense, they responded to Jeremy Guthrie, almost scoring 6 runs per game. If they can keep that up, they're going to win a series here.
And he's matched up with Justin Verlander. Can you believe that Justin Verlander has allowed the most runs of any pitcher in the American League?
Nope, he's got a lot of throws on that arm, though, Rhino. And tell you, the last 12, though, they've been figuring him out. He's still got almost as many strikeouts as he did in the first 21. However, he's been leaving balls out over the plate, and the Royals' bats are not missing. They're confident against Verlander.
So Guthrie's been getting some run support lately. Any Tiger pitcher normally gets some run support, as the Tigers have scored the most runs in the major leagues since the All-Star break.
This year, June 1st, the Royals in last place, 6.5 games out. They got hot, and while they were here in Detroit, moved into first place. Then the Tigers had the best of them, and Detroit was in first. But since August 11th, the Royals have been atop the division and have not given it up yet. Joel Goldberg back at Comerica Park. 6 left between the Royals and the Tigers. A 2-game lead right now. These are all such huge games. But for Ned Yost, it's not the game of the year as he tries to temper too much excitement about one game.
This isn't any bigger than the Yankee series we just played. It's not going to be any bigger than when we go home and play those series. You get to this point of the year, every game is a game that you got to go out and win. So they're all important. It doesn't matter who you play.
Well, I could say this much. The Royals know every game matters. The Tigers know every game matters. The Royals are being chased for the first time. The Tigers have been chased before, and they have chased in the past. They have the experience. The Royals, though, are in the driver's seat right now. Guys, I saw Hall of Famer Al Kaline earlier this afternoon, and I said, Al, what do you think about the Royals being here this late in the season in first place? And he said, this is what it's all about. Ryan?
Boy, you're not kidding. Here we are getting into the middle of September. The Royals have a chance to add to that 2-game lead. 6 games to go with the Tigers, 3 here, and then the Royals' last 3 games at home will be against the Tigers. So here's the Royals lineup for today, presented by your Midwest Ford dealers. Billy Butler has always done well against Justin Verlander. He has always done well against the Tigers, and after a couple of days for a mental break, he's back in there this afternoon.
Yep, and you know he's got the confidence over Verlander. However, listening to the pregame show today with Joel and Monty, they talked about Billy was on saying, hey, look, we're expecting the real Verlander to show up today. So they're not going to be expecting a guy that's really been giving it up lately. Although Salvador Perez, his numbers are really good, too, against Verlander.
Normally, when Verlander pitches, you look for his name among the league leaders in wins, ERA, innings pitched, strikeouts, opponent's batting average. Nowhere to be seen. He is now among the league leaders. He has the 2nd most losses. He's allowed the 5th most hits and the most runs in the American League. Yep,
you know, a lot of throws, a lot of wear and tear on that arm, no question about it. But he still has experience, and he is healthy enough to get out there. So his experience alone is going to, what he hopes, guide his team to victory today. 2-4 seam fastball, 90. We might see some 95, but he's not overpowering anymore like he was in the upper 90s. He's got a power curveball, slider change, you know, long legs. He's got that perfect pitcher's build, but it's up to the Royals to sit on that breaking ball, maybe sit on some off-speed stuff. Verlander not coming inside as much as he did. Defensively, we'll highlight their catcher because the Royals, they run. Why not? Alex Avila, he's been pretty good at 26.7. That's a nice percentage mark. He's got a good quick release point, but it's going to be up to Verlander and their bullpen to be able to get that ball home quickly to help him.
This was a game time that was changed, so we don't have a big crowd right now. We'll see if fans continue to file in, but the Lions are playing in one of the Monday Night Football games tonight, so they backed the game up 2 hours. And so that may have caught some of the fans off guard. It's going to be a big night for sports in downtown Detroit, beginning with the Royals and the Tigers. And the first pitch is ball 1 to Nori Aoki. Nori was 2 out of 6 in the Yankees series with an RBI. It drove in the only run on Friday when the Royals beat New York 1-0.
They're defending Aoki in on the corners. They know he can bunt. He will. He's been trying to slap that ball around to get on base early. He hasn't been driving the ball lately as much. Now Verlander, he's taking us an extra time there, walking off behind the mound. Now
I think there was a bee that was buzzing the tower there. He can't get rid of it.
It's still messing with him. Verlander, he knows that he's in trouble. Royals, they've scored at least 3 runs off of Verlander in 7 of his last 8 starts. He knows the Royals are exactly what they can do. Put the bat on him.
And now 3 balls and no strikes.
You can already see Verlander. He's shrugging his shoulders around, moving around a little bit, almost like he's not loose. But 93 on his fastball so far. That's it.
And a few years ago, that wasn't a big deal. He was famous for starting 91, 92, 93, just kind of easing into his starts. And then by the end of the game was 95, 96, 97. Full count on Aoki.
Brad Ausmus, he's counting on Verlander. You know, he's got to step up for his team. He's got to go at least 6 innings and try to shut down the Royals if at all possible. It's a big start for him.
Left center field, and it's going to be run down. JD Martinez, who's had a great year, period, but seems to be even better against the Royals, especially with the bat. And he opens the game with a big play with his glove.
He broke on contact, took the right route, straight line, just off the end of his glove. Nice play to start the game. Aoki, though, milked some pitches. 3-2 count.
Omar Infante, the former Tiger. Signed as a 16-year-old. Got to the big leagues in 2002. He was here for 6 seasons. And then returned to the Tigers 2012 and last year. One and one.
Playing for the Tigers like Infante did for the last several years, they all know on the Tigers that he can hit that fastball. But still, just because you know a guy can hit it and don't miss it, don't mean you can't throw it. I mean, Verlander is going to have to get that pitch over.
Two and one.
Now his arm slot has dropped a little bit, so sometimes that can be a fatigued shoulder. But he's not able to reach back like he used to. You mentioned, Ryan, how he would throw this velocity in the first inning and then later in the game, 97, 98. Haven't seen that.
Out to center field. No Austin Jackson. It's Don Kelly making the play. Paul Emmel is the home plate umpire. He's also the crew chief. Eric Cooper is at first. James Hoy at second. John Tumpane is at third.
Ball was hit pretty well for Infante.
Alex Gordon with 2 down.
The 73 at-bats Gordon has off of Verlander, he's homered a couple of times.
Two and 0. Little check swing on a changeup. 2 balls and 1 strike on Alex. On Wednesday at Cleveland, Verlander gave up 7 runs, 6 earned runs. It was the 9th time this year he's allowed 5 or more runs, and the 4th time this year he's given up 7 or more runs. Castellanos in foul ground. 3 outs, all in the air for Verlander, and the Royals are down 1-2-3. Royals baseball is brought to you by your Kansas City Chevy dealers. Make your move to Chevrolet today. By the Missouri Lottery, try the new Lucky Sevens playbook. And by AT&T Uverse, find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PICK-ATT, mobilizing your world. And now the Detroit Tigers against Jeremy Guthrie. Beginning with Ian Kinsler in his first year with the Tigers, and he's given them what they had hoped for. Tigers lead the league in team batting average and in on-base percentage, and they are second in the league in runs scored.
Yep, they're a tough offensive team. They're well balanced. Running a little bit more this year. They've got more speed. But Ian Kinsler, we showed you, he's hitting well above 300 against the Royals this season, and 361 off Guthrie.
One ball, one strike. Jeremy Guthrie, our key starting pitcher for today. He has made 2 starts against the Tigers. First time he really surprised them with his fastball, very aggressive with his fastball, and the Tigers were falling behind in counts. Guthrie was able to put him away. Then the next time he faced the Tigers, they jumped on his fastball, and they got 8 runs against him in 4 innings.
And that's because his fastball was right in the middle. Now that's a good spot on the corner there, but his fastball is about, he'll average around 90-91 miles an hour with it. He cuts that fastball. He's got a nice curve and a changeup, and he loves to pitch inside. That's been one of the reasons why Guthrie's been so strong in the second half. He's been one of the best pitchers in the second half. Since August 1st, he's 4-1 with a 3.21. So he's been dealing. And inside opens up the outside part of the plate for him. 13 hit batters this year. That leads the staff.
Miguel Cabrera has been playing as the DH a lot recently. He's been bothered by a bad ankle, so Victor Martinez has been playing quite a bit of first base.
Brad Ausmus has had to juggle that DH and first base with Cabrera and his bad ankle, so it's keeping him healthy, having Victor play first base.
Alex, fighting the sun, makes a play for the first out.
Defensively behind Guthrie, Escobar. 143 games started this season. He is the Royals Iron Man. Solid, great feet, tremendous hands, and a strong arm. Going over there to Hosmer. Hosmer's at first base now and picking and grinning like he always has. Lorenzo Cain, very trustworthy in this big yard here in center field at Comerica. 420 straightaway center.
Torrey Hunter takes a strike. Tigers' first 4 hitters in particular are really swinging the bats well at the moment. Kinsler, Hunter, and then Cabrera and Martinez are really hot. 2-1.
Guthrie's had a lot of success against righties this year.
Three and one. Hit well to right field, and Aoki makes a play in front of the track.
Guthrie, so far, first 2 hitters, that's his mantra. He's a fly ball pitcher. And the way that wind is blowing here today at Comerica, it's blowing in from left field. That favors the Royals with their power bats from the right side.
So Miguel Cabrera comes up with nobody on base. .100 RBIs for Cabrera for an 11th consecutive year.
How about the Royals pitching this year on him, holding him down to a 209 average? That's unusual. They've really pitched his spots well, and you know he loves the ball middle away. He loves to drive that ball to right center field. He'll react in, but you got to make him. And come inside there like he'll do.
He has done this with a bad right ankle. That's his back leg, his drive leg. He has a bone spur in his right ankle. Our Toyota League leaders for today. But then again, the Royals pitching has done an excellent job of keeping the ball in the ballpark. They have not been hurt for quite a while by a long ball, allowing just 1 home run in their last 12 games and none during the 3-game series at Yankee Stadium. Right to Escobar, and Cabrera hobbles to first. So both Verlander and Guthrie have 1, 2, 3 first innings. Lead off the second inning, and your Kansas City Honda dealers bring you the MTP of the game, the most trusted player, brought to you by the most trusted brand, Honda.
Ooh, we hope we see some of this afternoon. Salvador Perez feels pretty good against Verlander. How about that? I would too, with a .467 average against him. 10 RBIs in his career off of Verlander.
That'll be out of play. 1 strike on Sal. With those 30 career at bats for Perez against Verlander, that's the highest average of any major leaguer against Verlander with that many at bats. And he's been even better than the .467 this year. He is 6 out of 9 with 3 doubles against Verlander this year.
Yep, you're going to see a lot more Royals sitting on Verlander's curveball, that pitch right there. Because Verlander a little bit nervous about coming in, lack of velocity. His velocity, we mentioned, not exactly what it has been, and so he's afraid of getting beat inside for the long ball. But that curveball Salvi was out in front of. Third baseman Castellanos guarding that line. Maybe he believes Salvi's going to try to pull one down it, sitting on it.
And that's backing out of play.
Another curveball. Looks like Verlander, he's just rolling it up there. Now when it starts neck high, the way he's getting on top of that ball, it's breaking. It's a good pitch to hit when it starts out neck high. Here it comes. See, it's about neck high, and by the time it comes down, that's good hitting zone. Salvi just a tad underneath it. If it starts out about letter high, it's going to be in the dirt and a ball.
That was more of a slider. Verlander has his first strikeout.
Got all four pitches. We've seen his curveball. Now there's a slider that he threw Salvi for the first time. Started on the outside part of the plate. Nice pitch to put him away.
And now Eric Hosmer with 1 out. Hosmer was 2 out of 10 with a double and an RBI in the Yankees series. He drove in one of the runs yesterday.
Seeing Verlander now just the 5th batter in, already using all of his pitches. The Verlander of old would stay mainly fastball slider early the first time through to see how they were hitting it, and then he would go second time through with his other pitches, his big curve and his change. But so far, he's thrown them all.
That's a swing. Hosmer didn't think so. John Tumpane made the call. Back-to-back strikeouts.
Hosmer's gearing up a little bit too much. He's having a hard time keeping that weight back in this at bat. He wants to do something so badly.
So Billy Butler with 2 down, nobody on. If Perez has the best batting average against Verlander with 30 or more at bats, Billy Butler has the best batting average with 79 career at bats, which he has against Verlander. .430.
Yep, pretty good numbers, and Billy knows that he's waiting for his pitch. Ball will fly out to right field here at Comerica. Now, I talked about the wind. Pretty stiff wind blowing in from left field. That's going to hurt the right-handed power hitters on long fly balls that way. And it's still going to help the left-handed batters that pull. Although, Billy, we've seen him hit some balls in that porch in right field. He can go that way.
Trying to go the other way. 1-2. Ned Yost said he wanted to give Billy a mental break, so he missed the last 2 games of the Yankees series after going 0 for 3 in game 1. And you knew Billy was going to be in there today against Verlander. Backhanded by Romine. Verlander has retired the first 6 Royals, and no score in Detroit. Which includes the suspended game. So with our sprint question of the day, with that many games remaining, how many wins will it take for the Royals to win the Central? Text A, B, C, or D to 432-432. Royals with 1 more win than the Tigers, but they're 3 games ahead in the loss column. Victor Martinez leads off the 2nd inning and takes a fastball outside. Guthrie got Kinsler, Hunter, and Cabrera in the 1st.
Solid season, Victor Martinez. Both sides of the plate. He is what you call a professional hitter. Great eye. Hits only his pitch. And he's on a 26 consecutive on base streak. He's been really good.
All that power, 30 home runs, 29 doubles, and he hardly ever strikes out. He's got about as good a feel as the strike zone and his swing as anybody in the American League.
Yep, he's the toughest to fan in the American League this year. Just 1 every 14 times up. Before the inning started, the grounds crew was fixing the batter's box, and then Guthrie, he got Salvy's attention. He said, "Hey, bring him out here, get a little water right here on my landing step. I need a little bit of cushion there. Thank you, fellas."
Still 2-2.
Now this spot over here always has been a little question mark whenever the Royals come to town. However, I watched last night's game, and the San Francisco Giant base runners were calling timeout and going over there to that spot and smoothing some of that dirt out. Always a little bit deep over there, especially for teams that run. However, it affects the Tigers in the same way.
Base hit into center field for Martinez.
Guthrie wanted to come in, and that's on the outer half. Not a bad spot. They had him played over, and then with 2 strikes, they went back and opened up the hole.
And now J.D. Martinez, and what a pickup for the Tigers. 19 home runs, 63 driven in. He's hit over 300. And that's nothing compared to what he's done against the Royals.
J.D. Martinez, he might be their unsung MVP. The way he's been in there, sitting in there protecting Victor Martinez, hitting behind him. Inside out swinger. He's got power to all fields. Has the ability to wait till the ball gets deep to the catcher's glove, and he could power it out to right field. Right here, Guthrie wants to keep that ball down and induce his 21st ground ball double play. What a turnaround in years for him. J.D. Martinez only grounded into 7 double plays this year, but they've got some lane ball candidates in this lineup. A lot of guys hitting double plays by the Tigers. Torrey Hunter, Cabrera, Victor Martinez. I mean, those are high numbers. Guthrie does a solid job of pitching to his defense.
Still 2-2. J.D. Martinez was released by the Houston Astros of all teams in spring training. And with the Tigers, he has a new career high with home runs, 8 more than his previous career high, and a career high with RBIs. He had never hit better than 274 as a big leaguer, and hitting 306 with Detroit this year. Full count.
There's that inside pitch I was expecting in this at bat. Back him off that plate. Set him out over the middle. Victor Martinez won't be going. There it is. That's a purpose pitch. That's chin music. That's up a little bit high. Put him in the lane.
Changeup strikes him out.
Excellent pitch.
Well, we hope you'll join Major League Baseball and the Royals as we remember and pay tribute to those who lost their lives or loved ones on September the 11th. That's when the Royals take on the Red Sox. All uniform heroes and first responders have access to $10 Field Plaza and $5 Hy-Vee infield seats. Ball one to Don Kelly. Just go to Royals.com/GovX, or you can purchase those tickets at the Kauffman Stadium box office, and that is coming up on Thursday. First game of a 10-game homestand for the Royals. The Red Sox, the White Sox, and the Tigers will be in town for the Royals' final homestand of the year. Good changeup for a strike, and it's 1-1 on Don Kelly, who's playing in center field. Tigers traded away Austin Jackson to the Seattle Mariners. And Don Kelly, who has literally played all 9 positions in his big league career, has been one of the Tigers filling in with Jackson gone.
Pretty good spot up there. Now Guthrie, he wants to work him down, but sometimes he'll change that eye level, bring it up there on the letters, and then go down. Change ups.
Two and two.
They miss Austin Jackson, no question. That's a pitch right over the middle of the plate at 86. But Austin Jackson, he could patrol that outfield, and he was doing a pretty good job hitting down in the Tiger order. But you know, you can't get anything unless you give something.
Three balls, 2 strikes. Martinez runs this time, and Moustakas runs into foul territory. 2 down.
Ausmus letting Victor Martinez take off and attempt to steal there, so he was hoping that Kelly would have made some contact, and he did. Moose made a nice play running it down. They all know about Salvador Perez. Salvy's one of the best catch and throw guys there are, and Ausmus, he knows all about that catching spot. 18 years as a big league catcher. Victor Martinez does have 3 stolen bases this summer. Been caught a couple of times.
Rookie Nick Castellanos lost a 9-game hitting streak last night against the Giants as the Tigers avoided a sweep. 1 ball, 1 strike. This is a 9-game homestand for Detroit. They played 3 against San Francisco. They'll have 3 against the Royals, and then 4 against the Indians. Base hit center field.
Castellanos having a fine rookie season. When the Royals open the season, and that's down the middle of the plate, that ball's going to get hit hard. When the Royals opened the season here, there were question marks whether this young man would be able to adequately play third base. And those have all been answered. He's done a fine job over there. Looks like he's going to have a nice future. They always believed that he could hit, and he has.
Alex Avila batting just .220 this year, .229 against the Royals. But in his last 11 games against the Royals, he has 5 home runs, 10 RBIs. Almost take his season numbers and throw them out the window when he's playing the Royals. Martinez at second base, Castellanos at first.
Tigers a league best 279 average with runners in scoring position. Royals are right behind him at 271.
Two balls, one strike. Well, Guthrie hasn't given up any runs in this inning, but living a bit dangerously. He's been falling behind the hitters. Fell behind Martinez to begin the inning. He singled. Fell behind J.D. Martinez in this inning. He struck out. Now 3-1 on Avila. Fell behind Don Kelly, who ended up fouling out. And then Castellanos singled on a 1-1 pitch.
Guthrie knows that Avila has hit 3 home runs off of him in his career, so he's being a little bit careful with him early here. 3-1, wants to stay on the outside part of the plate for sure. Have him make contact, hit it at somebody.
Bases loaded with 2 down.
Not so sure Guthrie wanted any part of Avila there. We knew Romine was coming up, the number 9 batter, shortstop. Just a 219 hitter. But they're milking that pitch count a little bit now in this inning.
And this is the first time Romine has faced Guthrie. So normally, not always, but normally that swings the advantage the pitcher's way. Guthrie back to the windup with the bases loaded, 2 down. Little bit low. 30 pitches in the inning. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Great spot. You're going to miss with that pitch. That's where you want to miss. Right down there. Could have been a strike if he called it.
And a little bit high. So this is the 6th hitter that Guthrie has faced in this inning, and 5 at one point have been ahead in the count. To Hosmer, and Hosmer bobbles and then throws it away. 1 run scores on the fielding error. Another run scores on the throwing error. And the Tigers take a 2-0 lead on a routine ground ball to first base.
Wow. Now this ball wasn't hit hard at all. Okay, Hosmer, he took off there and he took a chance at it on a short hop. Couldn't get it. He panicked the backhand flip. At that particular time, just put it in your pocket. There's no need to even try the flip. That's too tough an angle to try to hit your pitcher on the dead run right there. And really, that's Infante's ball. Nothing happens there out of the inning. If Hosmer stays home, Infante calls him out. But Infante's got to tell him loudly and let him know before the pitch, hey, look, I'm over here on something soft. I can get it.
Shallow left field. Alex is there. And that's the inning. Hosmer, by the way, was charged with 2 errors, a fielding error and a throwing error on the same play. And now it's the Tigers, or I should say the Royals' opponent, coming up with the unearned runs. reverse rewind, and we rewind to the last 2 starts that Justin Verlander has had against the Royals. His ERA is over 8 in those 2 starts and losing both. First time Verlander had pitched 4 scoreless innings before the Royals got to him. And then in this start here on July 13th, 6 scoreless innings on just a couple of hits, and then the Royals had a 5-run inning.
Well, maybe that'll be the situation in today's game. The frenzy hitting will break out on it. They'll need to make up for those ugly errors that Hosmer made.
Moustakas, Kane, Escobar. Verlander's retired the first 6.
I wondered about a 4 o'clock start here. I don't remember ever being here at having 4 o'clock start, about the shadows, and so here from the light towers what we're seeing, a little bit of shadows creeping in.
Of course, this ballpark's different. Most ballparks face the northwest. This ballpark is turned around as they try to capture the view of downtown, so the shadows will come this time of day, as they do just about everywhere, but not like we see normally, where the shadows come from behind home plate, cover the hitter, give the pitcher an advantage for a few innings.
Yep,
these shadows are going to come from the first base side and the right field corner.
Yep, not that drastic for the fielders either.
Wide open left side, backhanded, high throw, and Martinez had to leave the bag, and Mike Moustakas has an infield single.
And Moose is going to start hopefully doing more of that, especially leading off an inning. You know, he can do that. He waited on that pitch nicely. Just shot it over there. With just one defender on that left side of the infield, you take your chances, especially with 2 strikes. First 2 strikes, you know, you're looking to juice the ball. Moose wants to pull one out.
Ball 1-2, Lorenzo Cain. So Cain in there against Verlander instead of stacking the lineup with lefties. And this is a rather surprising number. Normally, managers will stack their lineups with left-hand hitters against Verlander, but not this year. That batting average, .337 against right-handers. That's the highest of any pitcher in the American League.
It's alarming for a Cy Young winner like this guy. Well, he's not been coming inside. That's one of the reasons. He's not backing hitters off the plate, and they're feasting on curveballs, off-speed pitches. They know it.
Cain hits it into left field. So right after the Tigers get 2, the Royals get 2 on with nobody out. Cain gets his first hit on the trip.
You see that's a little spinner down low, but Verlander's arm angle is nothing like it used to be. He used to be straight on the top. Now he's coming almost 3/4 sidearm. Watch his arm. Watch Verlander's arm angle. See how he's coming a little bit. He's dropped his angle some, and that's kind of flattened out some of his pitches. And he doesn't quite have that velocity. It's been one of the issues that they've been trying to work with.
Now we'll see if Escobar bunts. The Tigers think that he will. He is not, and a fastball is in there. Escobar has 7 sacrifice bunts this year. And now he bunts, and Castellanos' play is to first.
Beauty. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
So second and third, one out to Nori Aoki. He opened the game with a fly ball in the left center field and lost a hit, probably an extra base hit on a leaning, sliding play by the left fielder J.D. Martinez.
He's been getting some clutch hits. He's hitting .304 now with runners in scoring position. Just to find a hole. Lorenzo Cain, he'll be tough to throw out with a big lead over there at second base. Torrey Hunter in right field. He's got the strongest arm out there. He's got 4 outfield assists. J.D. Martinez just has 1 from left, and Kelly hasn't thrown anybody out in center. Something productive. Try to elevate. Get it in the air. If you want to hit it on the ground, your best bet's up the middle. Shortstop, second baseman, they're playing back. They'll give them the run. Don't hit it on the corners. If you hit it to the corners, they might try to come home, and it's depending on how hard the ball's hit. But I would imagine they'll get the out with 1 already. Just think large part of the field right here.
2-1 on Aoki.
Outfield shallow. They don't respect the power of Aoki.
Two and two.
Inside pitch there. He tried to inside out swing. Like he was trying to push that ball to left field. This is when he wants to turn on.
One he has been turning on since the All-Star break.
You know, that means, you know, get that bat head out there. Drive him in.
Shallow center, and it drops. Cain got a great break, so good that he is racing Moustakas to the plate, and they both score.
That's a beautiful doinker. And Lorenzo Cain, that's what you get when you're at second base. You look around before the pitch, and you know, you make a mental note of where they're playing. And Lorenzo Cain, he reacted right away. He knew that was going to be a doinker. Moose had to stay there just in case. Moose is laughing, saying, "You almost caught me." Just like that, Royals tie it up. Okie dokie. Aoki now 485 with runners in scoring position in his last 28 games. He wants to drive the bus. I'd say with those numbers, he's been driving.
Infante takes a strike. Omar flying to center first time up.
And that ball that was hit off Aoki's bat looked like Kelly in center field. He came hard. He got a good break on it. I watched him on contact, but at the last minute he laid up. I thought he might lay out and try to catch that ball on a dive. And it would have possibly been a double play the way Lorenzo Cain came off of that base. Now watch Lorenzo Cain. Lorenzo's right here. Okay, he's gonna react right away. Kelly, here he comes, and then Kelly at the last minute he just held up, and that ball short hopped him. That could have been a double play and end of the inning.
Chopped out to short. Romine out at second. And the Tigers get the double play, but the Royals answer the Tigers with 2 runs in the top of the 3rd.
Yeah. Boys going to work. That sacrifice bunt. That's a beautiful thing.
Out in right field, he has tied the game, and the Royals have been looking for some offense. That has not been a problem for the Tigers. They have scored the most runs in baseball since the All-Star break. What has been the problem leading to that record? Pitching. They have scored a lot, but they have given up even more runs. So when you look at the run differential since the All-Star break, the Royals are plus 20, and it shows in the standings. The Tigers -6. So they still can hit, even with some of those injuries. Pitching has been the problem for them all year long, and definitely since the All-Star break. That is where the Royals have been able to win it. Guys, I did want to pass along one thing too, and I won't mention a name, but I saw a reporter, one of the Japanese reporters, not a guy that regularly travels with the Royals, that shows up frantically in the elevator in the top of the 1st inning. He's out of breath. And I looked at him, I said, "You all right?" He said, "I thought the game was at 7 tonight." He got up here in the middle of Nori Aoki's first at bat with a 3-0 count, jumped upstairs, was glued to the TV. Thankfully, he has probably calmed down since then and has a chance now to write about that Nori Aoki 2 RBI hit.
Well, he didn't miss anything. He was here right on time. Escobar throws, and Torrey Hunter body slams the first base umpire Eric Cooper, and then is called safe.
Man, I think Eric Cooper, in defense of himself, put his elbows up and kind of stuck Torrey Hunter right in the ribs. He's going over there to check on him. Should be all right. Escobar likes to make those plays off the turf, one bounce when they're in the hole like that. Look at that little forearm shimmy. Ooh, man, Hosmer almost got him with a sweep tag. Escobar's throw was a little off the mark, or they'd have gotten him.
You let him body you up like that, Torrey.
And now ball 1-2, Miguel Cabrera.
Let's check it out. Oh, see, Torrey, he wasn't even looking. He didn't get his hands up to protect him. He wasn't even looking at Eric Cooper, so that kind of caught him off guard. Thought the football game was later tonight.
1-1 on Cabrera. He grounded out to short in the 1st inning. 1-2.
Guthrie pitching Cabrera up, trying to tie him up inside. Those are good locations for him. Cabrera, he's really strong. I told you, middle away is where he looks. Any mistakes out over there, breaking balls, fastballs, it doesn't matter. His eyes are so good at recognizing pitch and the release point that you've got to be able to bust him in and keep him from getting his arms extended. Gonna stay inside or try to.
One and two. Those numbers, hitting with almost just one leg. With his sore right ankle, we saw him hit a home run against San Francisco last night with his back foot hardly on the ground at all. So he's really hurting like he was last year when he was dealing with a sports hernia. To left field and past Alex. So he keeps on hitting. He's just not running. That's a long single, sending Hunter to third.
Okay, Miguel, he figured out that they're trying to get him inside, so you know he can make those adjustments. Previous two pitches were he tried to get inside on him, and now he's looking in there. He's not at his best pulling that ball, but he got the head out there. You could see the infielders of the Royals pointing to second base to keep that double play in order.
Victor Martinez opened the second inning with a single to center field, and he scored. That gives Victor Martinez a 9-game hitting streak. And now he's reached base 27 straight games. He'll reach again as the Tigers regain the lead. Hunter scores. And now Detroit has runners at first and second and nobody out.
Royals knew that they had to come out and make their plays. So far the defense has not played the way that they can play. Torrey Hunter's ball to Escobar, if he throws that ball on line to first base, he's out. That play, Hosmer, he makes that play 9 out of 10 times, even though that's not a routine play, but that's how good he is.
Now J.D. Martinez, and he grounds it to short. Safe. J.D. Martinez running hard, avoids the double play.
Fonte, he knew he had to put a little bit more on it than just being quick with his hands. Ned Yost, he's looking in there to see if he wants to replay this, but Escobar got it to him quickly. J.D. Martinez did a nice job of hustling down that line. He may have beat it. No Ned, so that means that he couldn't capitalize now. Right here, they'll try it again. You can see that. Not watching the ball at all. Just concentrating on first base.
So Cabrera at third with J.D. Martinez at first. And Don Kelly to the plate. He fouled out to Moustakas in the second inning. Curveball is low for ball one. There it is, the Don Kelly fan club out in seat 7 in left field. One ball, one strike.
At least he's got somebody.
Well, in fairness, the other two fans are at a concession stand.
Yeah, they are.
He's a very valuable player. He has literally played all 9 positions in his career at the major league level. He was a favorite of Jim Leland's. Anywhere on the infield, anywhere in the outfield, and right now playing in center field, one of the guys Brad Ausmus is using after Jackson was traded. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Guthrie set up that next pitch with that pitch there, that ball up. He's going to try to get him down and him to ground into his 6th double play. Try it again.
That is a fair ball right on the chalk. 1 run home. And now J.D. Martinez held, and that was a good decision as Aoki made a good one-hop throw to the plate. So with a broken bat, Don Kelly drives in Miguel Cabrera, and the Tigers have another 2-run lead.
Ball's out over the middle of the plate. Broke his bat, but man, that bat died a hero on the line. Right on it. Ball got caught up there, right there on that corner. It hit the end of that guardrail. Dave Clark, third base coach, he knows to hold him there with less than 2 outs. They got another opportunity to score a run here. Guthrie in a little bit of trouble.
First 2 runs that Guthrie allowed were unearned. Eric Hosmer committed a fielding and a throwing error on the same play at the end of the 2nd inning, which allowed 2 runs to score. But now this is on Guthrie in the 3rd, as he's given up 4 hits. And now the infield is in with runners at 2nd and 3rd and 1 out as Castellanos takes ball 1. Castellanos singled and scored in that 2-run 2nd inning.
Yep, and they are making Guthrie throw some pitches. Got some good arms out there. There'll be a play at the plate. A medium depth fly ball hit. Gordon got 7 outfield assists. Kane with 8. Aoki with 5.
Rounded fair past Moustakas. Castellanos to second. He is safe with a double, driving in Martinez and Kelly to make it 6-2 in the 3rd inning.
Yikes. Tigers are finding the holes. That ball, look where Salvi was going to be on that. He was going to catch that ball. It was way off the plate. Castellanos just stuck his bat head out there and snuck it in.
That's just a killer for Guthrie. I mean, he made the pitch. He had him reaching. He had him off balance. Castellanos, those long arms, reaching out and hooking it up the line. Alex Avila walked his first time.
Ned Yost before the game was talking about the focus that the Royals continue to have to win games. They've got to focus on the little things, the things that they can control.
And that's a fair ball up the line. Alex Avila is in with a double. That's 3 straight doubles, 6 hits in the inning for the Tigers, and 5 runs.
Guthrie finding too much of the middle of the plate. Now, not on that last double. There was nothing wrong with that pitch that Castellano hit. But the other hits have all been out over the middle of the plate. Defense not helping him much this afternoon.
And now strike to Romine. Romine had the key at bat in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Casey Coleman warms up for the Royals. Romine came up with the bases loaded and 2 down and hit a very harmless ground ball to the right side. And the Gold Glover Eric Hosmer did not field the ground ball and then tried to make a play where there was no play and then threw the ball away, and 2 runs scored. And there's a base hit into left field. Avila will be held at 3rd. 7 hits. 8 men to the plate, 7 hits, 5 runs for the Tigers in the 3rd inning.
not exactly what Guthrie or Ned Yost had drawn up. I don't know how much longer you can leave Guthrie in there. .73 pitches, you know, and he always expects his starters to go as deep in the game as possible, and then all of a sudden this is getting out of hand.
Remember, tomorrow is the watch party at Johnny's Tavern. Royals Hall of Famer John Mayberry will be there in Shawnee. Chance to walk away with many great prizes, including Royals tickets. This could be a big out. Salvador Perez makes the play. Ian Kinsler with a runner at third, and just one out, fouls out to the catcher. And now the guy who started all this, Torrey Hunter. He reached with an infield single. It would seem to be a harmless beginning to the inning. And then he scored the first of 5 runs in this inning. Over the inside, strike one. Base hit right field. 8 hits, 6 runs for Detroit in the third.
You can't let him go any longer.
That is the 126th career RBI for Torrey Hunter against the Royals. Jeremy Guthrie, who was great on Tuesday against Texas, gave up just 1 run in 7 innings. He is out after 2 2/3 innings today, as Detroit has an 8-2 lead. With a 3-up, 3-down first inning. Then a couple of runs that weren't really his fault. 2 errors on 1 play in the second inning gave the Tigers a 2-0 lead. The Royals tied it in the top of the third, and now the Tigers have 6 runs on 8 hits in the third, and Ned Yost has to make a Chevy call to the bullpen before we were even done with the third inning.
Yep, not exactly what the Royals had written up for this one, but there's still a long way to go. They'll have to do some frenzy hitting to get back in this one.
Casey Coleman up with the Royals for the 3rd time this year. And this is his first appearance since being called back up. And all he has to do is get Miguel Cabrera with 2 on 2 out.
Yeah, nice two-seam fastball there. He'll sink that fastball. It's got a curve and a changeup. He'll go 97 and 94. Excuse me, 87 and 94 with velocity.
Missed outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Torrey Hunter has 2 hits in the inning. He's at first base. Andrew Romine is at second base. Dangerous spot to pitch Cabrera. Coleman with 94 miles an hour got it by him. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Stop the bleeding.
Still 1 and 2. Royals allowed just 6 runs in the Yankees series over the weekend in 3 games. And the Tigers have 8 in the first 3 innings in game 1 of the series. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Coleman hadn't thrown him any of his secondary pitches yet. He's staying on the outside corner and up away.
Full count. Victor Martinez is on deck.
Don't want to lose him. Just throw him a knee-high fastball down and hope he hits it at somebody.
Runners go, and it's fouled away.
Fouled that one off of his healthy foot. They've all been away. You can see the Fox tracks now. That one, he's trying to bust him in there and picked out his left foot and hit it off of it.
Still 3 and 2.
With the runners going here, Cabrera hits one in the right place. He could score Hunter from first the way he's moving on the pitch. 3 and 2.
Runners take off again, and Cabrera fouls it away again. It's been a long time since a Royals starter has been knocked around like this. And the Royals' previous 8 games, starter's ERA was under 1, which included Wednesday, or rather Tuesday, for Jeremy Guthrie when he gave up just 1 run in 7 innings.
Cabrera, very difficult out. Coleman knew that when he came in to face it. Got strike 1 on him, and then it's been on. It's a battle.
Here are those numbers. The previous 8 games. Look at that. Starters 4-0, 0.94, with opponents hitting under 200, and no runs allowed in the last 23 innings, which was 24 after Guthrie's scoreless first inning. But the Tigers have scored 8 in the last 2, including 6 in the bottom of the 3rd inning. The new location opening September 23rd at College and King in Overland Park. And by your Midwest Ford dealer. Visit your MidwestFordDealers.com. We've really been blessed with beautiful weather on this trip. And we hear it's cooled off quite a bit back home. That will be refreshing when the Royals land very late on Wednesday night. Alex Gordon, Salvador Perez, and Eric Hosmer. It is only the 4th inning, and we've been telling you about how the Royals have been hitting Justin Verlander lately, as in the past few years. And Verlander's coming off a start where he gave up 7 runs. That was Wednesday at Cleveland, so this game is not over at all. And now a strike to Alex. Let's go to Joel.
I had a talk with Alex today. Over the last 2 weeks, the Royals are scoring 2.5 runs per game, and that's the worst in the American League. But their ERA in the last 2 weeks before today, 2.88. That's the best in the American League. And I asked Alex about that struggling offense, and he said, we have a good team, and right now the offense is not doing what it's supposed to do, but we feel like at some point we will be the ones that need to pick up the pitching and the defense that have been carrying us. So perhaps today, on a day where the pitching has struggled and the defense hasn't been airtight, it'll be the offense that finally picks them up. And I'll agree with what you said. There's a long ways to go in this game. 8-2 may not look great, but Justin Verlander hasn't looked great. And if he gets himself into some trouble here, they're not going to give him the quick hook. They'll stick with him a little bit. So the Royals may have an opportunity, but they've got to jump on it.
Yeah, and you're right, Joel. I was going to say the same thing. Is it the pitching has been fabulous. Ryan just read a statistic where they've been just only unhittable their last several starts. But it's impossible to keep that run going. So when it stops, it's up to the offense. Now it's time for them to pick up the starting pitching. See if they can do it.
2-2 on Alex. And in a different way than we're accustomed to, the bullpen is going to be a big key for the Royals today. I mean, the Royals, it is possible for them to score 6 runs. And at the same time, the bullpen, which had to come into the game in the 3rd inning, they now have to make sure the Tigers don't score anymore.
Alex doing what he should be doing right now. Anything close, he's fouling off. Any borderline pitches, keep him ready for that one. He can get a rally started. But you're right, Rhino. It's just, you know, it's been a marvelous run for the starters, but there's going to be days where that bullpen is going to need to be used more than just the back 3 guys.
Down from 0-2 to 3-2. Fastball at 94. That is Verlander's 3rd strikeout.
Good location. Alex was looking fastball. Avila wanted it in, and it stayed away. It ended up being a better spot up in the zone away from Alex. Good spot. Some good movement on that fastball there.
3 strikeouts for Verlander in 3 1/3 innings, so almost 1 strikeout per inning. He also struck out Sal in the 2nd. And I bring that up because Justin Verlander today is making his 29th start. He does not have one single 10 strikeout game this year. He doesn't have one single 9 strikeout game this year. Sal got to pitch up and hit it hard, but Torrey Hunter was playing right there. He backpedals for a few steps, and there are 2 down. The high water mark for Verlander this year has been 8 strikeouts, and he's only done that 4 times. So he's had to find other ways to get outs.
Yeah, and you know, this is the evolution of a pitcher. I mean, you got a lot of throws in that arm. You know, you got a lot of wear and tear on the shoulder and the elbow. You know, eventually it catches up with you. You lose your velocity. That's when you learn how to hit your spots and change speeds. And this season is the season where Verlander's learning how to do that. Except the Tiger Brass, they weren't expecting this year. His contract hasn't even kicked in. This new contract he signed.
Verlander struck out Hosmer in the second inning. Hope was that long 6-run bottom of the third might take Verlander somewhat out of his rhythm. He's gotten a strikeout and a line out. That should reach the seats, and it does. 7 rows back. 1-2 on Hosmer. Look at that pitch. Oh my goodness. Hosmer just kind of stood up there like a slow pitch softball hitter, just very relaxed, and he got a fastball that was even with his chin and hit a missile into right center field.
That is called a Tommy Hawk. Stayed on top of it, squared it up. Beautiful swing. Wow. Look at the balance there. That really good follow through, stayed on top well.
If he swings and misses at that pitch or fouls it away, the thought is, why is he swinging at that pitch? That's not even near a strike. And he crushes it into right center field for a base hit. So he's on with 2 down for Billy Butler. I would think Verlander and Alex Avila were happy with that location.
You would think, but you know, we've seen Hosmer, especially earlier in the season this year, taking a lot of swings up in the zone. He likes it up there. But that makes Eric an even more dangerous hitter. And he is not just up there keyhole, and he can get better with his pitch selection. That's for sure. But
now a shattered bat, and the play is made by Romine. So the Royals don't turn that Hosmer single into anything. Verlander gets a scoreless inning right after the Tigers added 6. Tigers 6-run third inning, so they come up in the bottom of the 4th. And we remind you to tweet your photo using hashtag KCFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown during today's game broadcast, brought to you by AT&T. Victor Martinez, who has 2 hits already. He has scored a run. He has driven in a run. He'll be followed by J.D. Martinez and Don Kelly. Mike Moustakas over on the right side of second base. So Victor pulls it into the shift. 1 down. Join us for the final Buck Night of the season. That's coming up on Friday, September 19th, when these Detroit Tigers will be in town. And make sure to bring a handful of dollar bills, as hot dogs, peanuts, and small Pepsi products are just $1 each. And as an added bonus, the first 20,000 fans to enter the stadium will receive a special edition Royals-themed Thunder Sticks, courtesy of DraftKings. So that's coming up on Friday, September 19th, the Royals and the Tigers. Royals.com, 1-800-6-ROYALS.
Thunder Sticks. Interesting. There's a big Greg Holland fan right there on the right. It's his dad, Scott.
J.D. Martinez is 0 for 2 with a run scored. He was part of that 6-run third. Moustakas charges, and the ball didn't stick in his hand. That was a tough play. J.D. Martinez gets a 1-out infield single.
J.D. beat out that double play the last time up. That kept their rally alive, and they scored some more runs after that. Got him an infield hit.
And now strike to Don Kelly. Tigers have 11 hits already. At one point they had 3 consecutive doubles, which drove in 4 of the 6 runs in the third inning. They also have 3 infield hits today.
Seemed like they picked on Guthrie's changeups. His changeups weren't exactly like he wanted them. They were left out over the middle of the plate a little bit too regular.
Two and one on Kelly. Three balls and 1 strike.
Coleman has a chance to impress Ned Yost. Come in there and throw some strikes, get out of this inning, eat up a few scoreless innings here. He can elevate his stature in that bullpen.
J.D. Martinez runs, and it's fouled away. Another foul ball.
Six-run lead. Osmus is a little bit more free on the bases now. He's letting the guys go.
That was one significant change the Tigers made as far as how they go about things on offense, is running, and running a lot more than they did last year. And now ball 4. That puts 2 on with 1 out. Tigers last year stole 35 bases. Not in a month. not in a half. The whole year they stole 35 bases. That didn't really fit Jim Leland's way of doing things, and it really didn't fit their offense. So the Tigers brought in Brad Ausmus. They got Ian Kinsler. They got Rajai Davis. And the Tigers went from dead last in the major leagues in stolen bases to third in the American League. They already have 61 more stolen bases than they did last year.
Yeah, amazing.
Strike two, Castellanos.
Rajai Davis had 32 stolen bases, and Kinsler with 15. Those have been a couple of big ads for far as the speed goes.
1-1 to Castellanos. He has scored twice, and he's driven in 2 already. He has J.D. Martinez at second base and Don Kelly at first with 1 out. Slicing up the right field line and foul by a couple of feet. And away.
High fives all around. Coleman, keep that ball down, use that defense, see if he can roll a double play.
Tied him up. Good pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Casey is a 3rd generation big leaguer, and the only 3rd generation family where all were pitchers. Another 3-ball, 2-strike count. Grandfather Joe pitched 10 years in the major leagues, and 1 year was an all-star. And then his father, Joe Jr., pitched 15 years in the big leagues. Got him looking. Castellanos thought it was down. He was given the benefit of the doubt 2 pitches previous to that one, so Paul Emmel wasn't going to give him the whole strike zone.
That's a perfect spot for Coleman. Good pitch there. See how he's on side of the ball. He's going to get that ball to break it. Good action to it. Salvi framed it up, made it look good for him.
Two down to Alex Avila, who's been on base twice. Outside for ball 1. Avila walked in the 2nd inning. That set up the next play, which was the error on the ground ball by Romine, which led to 2 runs. And then Avila hit the 3rd of 3 straight doubles in the 3rd inning, driving in a run and then later scoring a run. 2-0. That guy's ready to go.
Yeah, he is. How about that doubleheader today for folks in Detroit here? They can watch the ball game and then head right across the street. Watch that football game after this.
Three on Avila. And there's some of the fans just passing through the area on their way to Ford Field, looking through the iron bars out beyond center field, trying to get a glimpse of the Tigers and the Royals. There you go. We've seen the modern helmet and the throwback helmet. And now the bases are loaded with 2 outs. You want to know why there are more concussions in football today than there used to be?
Why?
Would you lead with your head if you had that sandbag leather thing on your head?
No.
And I think there are a lot more broken noses and jaws when they had, if you even want to call it a helmet, it was a head dressing more than anything else.
Yep, I'd agree with that.
And now Lewis Coleman behind Casey Coleman. An infield single and 2 walks has loaded the bases with 2 down to Andrew Romine.
Coleman's not getting ahead. I get strike 1 in there.
And he gets a breaking ball over for strike. Romine has singled. His biggest contribution was putting the ball in play with 2 outs and the bases loaded in the 2nd inning. It resulted in 2 errors and 2 runs. And now up there again with the bases loaded, 2 down. And he's ahead in the count, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Seemed like that threw Guthrie's timing off after that play happened.
Two and 2. A better command of that slider than he has his fastball. Martinez, JD Martinez at 3rd, Don Kelly at 2nd, Alex Avila's at 1st.
You can't let him score anymore.
And a full count. So back to the fastball, and he missed. So where does he go here?
Go back to that off-speed pitch. You're able to command that one. Make him put it in play.
Hosmer gets another chance with Romine, and the throw to first is in time. So this time the Royals keep the Tigers scoreless after they load the bases, and at the end of 4, Detroit leads 8-2.
Royal blue. I don't know if we see any Royals haircuts quite like that. A lot of blue in the stands to cheer on the Lions later today in Monday Night Football. Our Mazda Game Break takes a look at the next 2 games. The Royals have all their veterans pitching in this series. It was a rough one for Jeremy Guthrie, but Jason Vargas and James Shields will go up against Max Scherzer and Rick Porcello. Scherzer, Porcello, both have struggled a little bit more recently. Porcello had been on a nice run for a while, but the Royals will try and see if they can get back into this one. And guys, to give you an idea about how good the pitching has been, those 8 runs scored today against the Royals equal the amount that they have allowed in the last 5 games total.
Surprising and yet not surprising at the same time. Impressive number, I should say, but not surprising. Always good to see Bo Jackson coming out to watch the Royals.
That's right.
He's going to go sit with that Don Kelly fan. That's powder blue, and Honolulu blue is quite similar.
Yeah, interesting outfit, but he's ready. He's ready to see a little rally time. Get back in this game.
Moustakas reached with an infield single in the 3rd inning, and then he and Kane scored on Nori Aoki's 2-run single, which tied the game at 2. But then the Tigers in the bottom of the 3rd scored 6. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
They are playing Moose on that dead pull. Romine, he's the only fielder on the left side.
Kelly with that ball carrying on him, and he runs it down. Ball fooled him a little bit. 1 down. Remember, Beers of the K is back on Friday. The Red Sox will be at Kauffman Stadium. Join us for this pregame event and enjoy unique beer options. Packages start at $18 and include a game ticket, a Beers of the K ticket, and a 4-ounce tasting mug. You must have an event ticket to enter. Go to Royals.com/beers or Beers of the K.
Be great to get back home. See the fans. That ball that Moose hit, and that went a lot further than I thought it was going to go. It's 420 straight away, and Kelly caught that ball right before the warning track. Tough luck to hit one that far. Don't get anything to show for it.
Lorenzo Cain singled and scored first time up. Three and 0. Throwing a lot of fastballs today, and Dave Holtzman, our associate producer, had done some research, some exhaustive research before the game, and Verlander, with his decreased velocity, really has dipped in the frequency of fastballs he's thrown, but lately he's tried to throw more fastballs. There's one at 92, and I think Cain was expecting something else. 4 strikeouts for Verlander. So on one hand, he doesn't have the velocity that he once had, and yet if he doesn't throw his fastball very often, he's not going to get it back. In order to get fastball velocity, you have to throw fastballs.
And he's just going to learn how to do what he did on Lorenzo Cain there. Had him swing and pull a ball foul inside with his fastball, then he painted him away on the corner. Shadows creeping around that home plate area a little bit, not making it any easier.
Kind of strange to look at Justin. Well, first of all, look at any of Justin Verlander's numbers this year, but then see that if you look at him for the span of this year, he's only throwing his fastball about half the time, a little more than that. But over 60% in his last 5 starts. And he's had some good defense. Kelly runs down the drive from Escobar, and Verlander has his 3rd 1-2-3 inning. With a 6-run third inning, and now they come up in the bottom of the 5th. Don't forget, vote for the Royals Player of the Month at rallyhouse.com/Royals, and you'll be entered to win a majestic prize pack from Rally House. From Casey Coleman to Lewis Coleman, a Chevy call to the bullpen. No relation. It is the 117th time in Major League history that one pitcher has replaced another with the same last name but not related. I just made that up.
I know. I was thinking that's really exhaustive research right now. Two-seam fastballs, sliders from Coleman. Get ahead of those hitters. Keep them off the base. That's the whole idea. But well, your team can mount a rally. But Verlander, he's been hitting his spots the last few innings.
Two and two on Kinsler.
Coleman, he's what they call a sidewinder. Comes sidearm, throws across his body, can be deceptive to righties, especially when he gets that two-seam movement. That's a good spot right there, that last pitch. That's where he wants to stay. See him? That's what the hitter's coming to. Hides the ball pretty well, comes out, goes across his body. And a little two-seam action here almost got him.
A few slivers of the bat coming loose as Kinsler fouls it away, and he'll get a new bat.
That's
looked like someone whittled the barrel of the bat off there.
Yeah, that's an ash bat. Coleman with that two-seam sinker and then that slider away is really what he wants. And keeping it down in the order, down in the zone. Kinsler picked the right time to get traded. Of course, he has no control over that. Rangers, worst record in baseball.
And if you go back to his words in spring training, maybe to the delight of Ian Kinsler, remember when he was quoted as saying he hoped they lose every game. Texas Rangers. Well, they haven't quite lost every game, but they have lost 89.
And with Ron Washington resigning, that was a shocker. Little two-seam around the knees. Use the defense.
Kinsler is from Arizona and started his college career at ASU. Didn't get a lot of playing time. He wasn't happy there. And that's when he transferred to MU and finished his college career for the MU Tigers. Max Scherzer, another MU Tiger. We'll see him tomorrow, and I'm sure at some point in the series we'll see Aaron Crow. Big hop out to Escobar. One away in the 5th inning. Kinsler is 0 for 4. FoxSportsKansasCity.com is your home for Royals coverage all season long. Log on for game previews, recaps, videos, features, and the latest analysis from our good buddy Jeffrey Flanagan. It's all on FoxSportsKansasCity.com. Torrey Hunter has 2 hits, and both hits were in the same inning in that Tigers 6-run third. He had an infield single, and he singled to right. And when he singled to right, he picked up his 126th career RBI against the Royals. Kane and Aoki. Kane into the shadows to make the play to get the out against his boyhood idol, Torrey Hunter. 2 down. We saw some of the fans last inning, and a large group of them make their way up the aisles at the same time, and we don't think that they all were going to the restrooms or the concession stands at the same time. Maybe headed over to Ford Field as the Lions game begins in about an hour.
He's a Giant fan.
Little safer over here than he might be across the street.
Yep, right now. Coleman mixing up his pitches and his locations too. He's been on the corners, been up, down. Looks like his 2-seamers got some pretty good movement this afternoon.
Cabrera extended his hitting streak to 8 games when he singled and scored in the 6-run third. Trying to put as little weight as he can on his back ankle, his right ankle. Back to Coleman. And that's that. So Lewis out of the bullpen gets the Tigers in order in the bottom of the 5th inning. Sixth inning, they could use a big hit. They could use a home run. How about a grand slam? That's music to Pam Miller's ears from KCMO. If the Royals hit a home run, Pam wins $5,800. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Pam wins $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. Aoki, Infante, Gordon, if anybody gets on Perez in the 6th against Verlander, who has retired the last 4, 7 of the last 8, and pitching with a big lead and with a pretty good pitch count.
That Royals offense is going to have to wake up if they're going to do any damage here. in Motown, just averaging 2.5 runs a game in the last 14 games.
JD Martinez was shallow, so he'll back up, sunglasses on, and make the play on Norrie, who's 1 for 3. He drove in the 2 Royals runs back in the 3rd. Omar Infante is 0 for 2. Rounding into a double play and flying out to center field.
Seems like the Royals, when they get hot offensively, everyone gets hot. And then when they shut down, everybody shuts down. It's not one guy, particular guy carrying the offense. They're just finding ways to score them runs and relying on that tremendous starting pitching that they've been getting. And the defense that's been a little shoddy in today's game.
Romine, long throw from the grass. Low throw, scoop by Victor Martinez. Good plays on both ends.
Sure was. Romine getting his feet up underneath him. Knew he had a little bit of time, so he just plants and fires over the top. Great scoop, great pickup. Look at how he got it out in front. Martinez way out in front there. Picked it while the hop was short.
Inside to Alex, who is 0 for 2. Changeup.
Yeah, Verlander's offense really let him off the hook today. They scored 6 runs in the 3rd. Got him a nice big cushion. Now there's no pressure on him. He can go out and change speeds on his pitches and try to execute them. And Royals have been swinging early in the count.
Three balls and 1 strike. That is Verlander's first walk. As we promised earlier in the game, we have the fan photo of the game from John. So we thank John for sending in his photo tonight. And remember, by using hashtag KCFanPhoto, you can have yours shown during an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T.
John resembles Alex a little bit, Alex Gordon.
Sal with great numbers against Verlander, has lined to right and struck out today. Even going 0 for 2 today against Verlander. He's still 6 out of 11 against him this year with 3 doubles. Crack bat, Romine over to Martinez to end the inning. So a 2-out walk. That's it. To the bottom of the 6th. Verlander and the Tigers lead 8-2. 5-hour energy. And by Jeep. Come in and get a great deal at the Jeep Celebration event. Well, we hope you'll join us for a book signing of Art Stewart's The Art of Scouting. That's coming up on Tuesday, September 16th in the Royals Hall of Fame. That'll be during the Chicago White Sox series, which is appropriate because that's where Art is from. Art will be along with fellow Royals Hall of Famers Dennis Leonard, Freddie Patek, and John Mayberry. They'll be scheduled to sign from 5:30 to 7, so your chance to meet 4 Royals Hall of Famers. Tuesday, September 16th. And one of the great storytellers in the history of the Royals franchise, and for good reason, because Art Stewart has been everywhere. He has seen everybody and has been part of some of the most important signings in Royals history, and before that a scout with the Yankees organization, so a lot of his great stories are in that book.
Yeah, it's amazing how he remembers every detail of things that happen. I mean, one of the best stories I ever heard was when he went to the World Series in Chicago back when he was a kid. He was telling me detail for detail that it was supposed to rain. His dad said, you better take some cardboard and while you stand in line for your tickets. Well, he was right. It downpoured rain, and then they stayed in line and they got tickets to sit in Wrigley Field, and he was just a young boy. The story is just amazing. So while you're having him sign your book, ask him a question about one of the Royals players and he'll tell you. Fantastic stories.
That was the 3rd hit for Victor Martinez, and now JD Martinez 1 for 3 with a run scored. One ball, 1 strike against Coleman. One ball, 2 strikes. Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard. Victor Martinez 2nd in the league in hitting, 7th in home runs, 2nd in slugging percentage, 6th in RBIs, 1st in on base percentage, and with all that, the toughest in the American League to strike out. Smothered by Moustakas, and because Victor Martinez doesn't run well, Royals get the force out at second base.
Would it stay with it? Moose left his feet, ball popped out. Able to get the force. Ned Yost coming out just to check on Coleman's condition and want to know about his foot. And he's going to find another arm.
Scott Downs comes on with 1 on, 1 out in the bottom of the 6th inning. Game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Jeremy Guthrie. Everything came unraveled in that third inning. Tigers, they batted around. They pummeled him. They found every hole you could find. But he did keep the ball in the yard. Everything was out over the middle of the plate. Tigers, they hit it where he pitched it. And he didn't last long.
6 runs on 8 hits in that inning. Tigers got 2 hits in the same inning from Torrey Hunter. And now Scott Downs, who's the 4th Royals pitcher today. He inherits J.D. Martinez at first and pitches to Don Kelly. Tigers have 12 hits in 5 1/3 innings. 8 of the 9 starters have at least 1 hit, and 7 of the 9 have at least a run scored and or an RBI. Out to Infante, out at second, and actually that took Escobar off the bag. He wasn't sure he kept his foot on, so he tagged out Martinez just to make sure, and that took away the possibility of a double play.
Middle infield having a hard time turning 2 today. That ball that J.D. Martinez hit back in that 3rd inning, they had a chance to turn 2 there. It was a ball that hit pretty hard by Martinez, and Infante just didn't use enough legs or didn't have enough arm, and he beat it out, and he scored a few more runs after that. They've got to be able to turn double plays.
Snap throw, picked him off. Scott Downs picks off Don Kelly to finish off the Tigers in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Tigers have been scoreless over the past 3 innings after getting 8 in the first 3 innings.
Don't sleep, he'll get you.
Seats at Kauffman Stadium. If you have not seen the playoff contending Royals, check out ticketsforless.com. Tickets for Less is your trusted source for all tickets and still has great lower level tickets between the bases for all remaining Royals games. Check out ticketsforless.com for all your Royals tickets, and it should be a great homestand when the Royals return. Hopefully they do so with a win or 2 in their back pocket from here in Detroit.
10 games for the final homestand. The Boston Red Sox for 4 Thursday through Sunday. Then the Chicago White Sox for 3. And then after an off day, the Tigers will be the last 3 home games for the Royals. The 19th, the 20th, and the 21st. And for the second straight year, the Royals will finish the season on the road and their final games in Chicago. Fouled back by Eric Hosmer, who is singled and struck out against Justin Verlander.
Just 4 hits is all the Royals have been able to muster. They got a couple of runs. Got those all in 1 inning back in the 3rd. To find a way. Now, I thought that with the success they've had off of Verlander the last 2 starts, the Royals offense might come alive today, but it hadn't happened. And it's not going to get any easier tomorrow or the next day, as they've got some really good pitchers going, and they get a little momentum going. Their offense is getting some hits. It's not going to be an easy series.
Low strike on a curveball, 1-2 on Hosmer. Still 1-2. It hasn't been a dominating Justin Verlander performance. It's been a good one, but he's not blowing away guys one after another. He has struck out 4. He has walked 1. He hasn't had a long inning as far as pitch count goes, any longer than 17, but there have been very few mistakes.
And he's been using all 4 pitches from the very first inning on. So doing a nice job really of keeping the Royals off balance. This might be one of his better starts of the year. This looked like a routine play for this Lions fan. He's got his eye on it. Up, off the fingertips. He misjudged the hop.
I think he was holding his beverage with his dominant hand.
He's not going to lose that.
3-2. And you know, your hands are no different from your glove in that you should always read the instructions before you use them.
That's right.
Eric Hosmer well hit into right center field, and that will roll a mile away from home plate. Hosmer will try for 3, and he is in with a leadoff triple.
Man, you'd have thought Verlander would have learned from the last time Hosmer was up, that high pitch. He Tommy hawked that one, and here's another one. Wasn't quite as high as the previous base hit Hosmer got. But that's another one that Hosmer feasted on. Split the gap. Nobody out. See if they can make Brad Ausmus a little nervous as you see Hosmer touching 3 bases. First triple of the year. How about it? Take care of that goose egg.
Billy today is grounded out to short and popped to short.
Need something right here.
Two and 0.
Billy's in a little 2 for 23 skid. It's one of the reasons why he's been getting some bench time. New York, he just played 1 game. Need him to knock in this run here. He wants to stay in that lineup. Got to produce.
I don't think Billy agreed with that call. 2-1. Verlander retired the first 6. He gave up 2 runs in the 3rd and hasn't allowed more than 1 base runner in an inning since the 3rd. He didn't get that call, and Billy's ahead 3 balls and 1 strike. Al Albuquerque warms up in the Tiger bullpen. Verlander is coming up on 100 pitches. Full count.
Didn't give in. Put that fastball, or actually it was a slider on the outer half there, really hitting his spots.
Still 3-2.
Stayed with that same location. Billy just wants to hit that ground ball, you know, sack, fly, anything to get the run in.
That'll get a run home. Billy's out. Hosmer scores. 59 RBIs for Billy Butler. And it's an 8-3 game. Verlander now at 98 pitches, and doesn't seem like that long ago where that really didn't mean anything. And I was looking up his pitches per game start. So what is he averaging this year? How far is Brad Ausmus riding him? Average pitches per start. He's at about 106 pitches per start. You have to go back 7 years. The last time he had an average lower than that, it was just 2 years ago. He was averaging 114 pitches a start, and the year before that 116 pitches a start. That's an average. That's not, I mean, nowadays 116 pitches, you see that and wow, that's a long outing. But for Verlander, that was his average.
Well, that's going to catch up to you. That's a lot of pitches thrown in his career. It's an unnatural motion to come over the top like that with any kind of velocity. It stresses the shoulder and the elbow.
Out to center field. Kelly comes up to make the play. 2 outs in the 7th. You can get closer to the action at Kauffman Stadium with the new seat upgrade option using the MLB.com at the ballpark app. Simply choose Kauffman Stadium, hit the upgrade seat button to improve your seat, and then enjoy the game with your new tickets. Find your perfect seat while at Kauffman Stadium with the seat upgrade feature on the At the Ballpark app. Lorenzo Cain has scored one of the runs today. Didn't mean to do it. He's down in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. I'm not sure if that is an option or not. I guess that is where the Comerica Park lifeguard sits.
That looks like a lifeguard stand. Must be a big lifeguard.
Long run. And Torrey Hunter made the play and then lost his glove as he collided with Kelly. And Kelly can't find it. And that's an inside the park home run for Lorenzo Cain, and Torrey Hunter is hurt. And right now Lorenzo getting high fives, and in a moment he'll be concerned about Hunter. That was his favorite player when he was a kid. Hunter had it in his glove, and then his glove came off and the ball came out.
Well, there was a couple of balls out there earlier in today's game that looked like there was a little bit of confusion to who was going to make the catch. Torrey Hunter looks dazed. Maybe it's a head thing, hopefully, and you just hope he's not hurt. Looked like he's dazed now. He's calling for it. Look at, you can see Kelly. He's calling for it. Then he took his eye off at the last minute. Torrey was there. Clipped him. Let's see if Torrey landed on his head. Like he landed hard on his backside. And Kelly, he didn't know where the ball was. He looked in Hunter's glove. He didn't realize the ball had kicked all the way to the right field wall. Kevin Rand having some fun with Torrey Hunter and making sure he's all there.
Do you know where you are?
Yep.
What day is it? Who hit that ball? And I think I read Torrey's lips. He said that punk Lorenzo Cain, who said I was his favorite player when he was a kid.
No, he's going to stay in. Watch how Hunter lands. He lands hard on his backside. It jarred his head. Okay, you hate to see these. Now the ball fell off. Look at him land. Torrey lands, hits his head on the turf. I'm sure he saw some stars there. Now Kelly, he's looking at Hunter. He didn't see the ball rolling to the wall there, and he ran over. He looked in Hunter's glove. By that time, Lorenzo Cain was touching third base and on his way home.
It's the first inside the park home run for the Royals since 2010. David DeJesus hit one. I think David just hit one in the last 2 days, didn't he, for Tampa Bay?
See Lorenzo Cain run them bases. Wow. Nice long strides. That was beautiful. Glad to see Hunter's all right. Hey, just a 4-run game now. You never know. So communication with the center fielder Don Kelly and the other corner outfielders a little bit shaky because Kelly doesn't play there every day in center field. Then Rajai Davis has been playing a lot of center field since Jackson's departure.
Yeah, we looked it up. David DeJesus hit an inside the park home run yesterday.
No way. I missed it. Was that at the Trop? That's hard to hit it inside the park there. They must have had another collision out there. Could have hit one of the catwalks up on top there at that field too.
Escobar well hit to left field, and that is going to be caught by Martinez. Man, he's had a heck of a game defensively. The Royals get 4 runs against Verlander again. Lorenzo Cain has an inside the park home run. It's a 4-run game. Up during the next homestand. Here's what's going on just for that Red Sox series. beginning with Thursday night, Gordo Nation, the last Gordo Nation, and all-you-can-eat seats. Friday night, Beers of the K. Saturday night, it's 6:10 Saturday. And then that series wraps up with a Sunday game, Family Fun Day Sunday. 4 games of the Red Sox to kick off the last homestand of the year. Scott Downs got the final 2 outs of the 6th inning. And now he gets Castellanos, Avila, and Romine. Royals bullpen has held the Tigers scoreless so far after Detroit got 8 runs against Jeremy Guthrie in 2 2/3 innings. Infante, nice hop, and throws out Castellanos. He is 2 for 4.
Okay, both outfielders converging on the ball. You see Torrey Hunter's got that gold glove. He had it in his glove. Kelly jarred it loose. And watch him, he hits hard. Look at him hit his head. Wow, that's exactly why he saw stars. It's over there. It's not in my glove, but that's where Kelly saw it land. I'm sure he saw it as Torrey Hunter had it in his glove. That's a great shot there, fellas. Thank you. That showed us a lot more.
Now Vila cracked his bat. Alex battles the sun and makes the play. 2 down.
Quick inning. Get back in there and get to their bullpen. It's been really shaky.
Let's answer our sprint question of the day. 21 games remaining for the Royals, including that suspended game. How many wins will it take to win the division? Royals have 79 wins coming into today, and the highest percentage was 13-15. Last year it took 93 wins for the Tigers to win the division. There's a shot past Moustakas. Romine has his second hit. He will try for 2 and then think otherwise. He got almost halfway and hit the brakes after Alex got to it quickly in the corner.
Ton of respect there for Alex Gordon. Alex, the reason he's so good at that is he gets to the ball quickly, takes a perfect route to the ball, and then when he catches it, it doesn't take him long to stop after running full speed. So he stops and then loads, and you know, Romine, he's a good runner.
So Downs gives up a 2-out single, and now Jason Frazier comes on to face Ian Kinsler.
takes us to Cleveland. The Indians have been awfully hot, but no one is hotter right now than the Los Angeles Angels. Albert Pujols goes deep. Howie Kendrick followed with another after that. 12 runs and 16 hits. And Jared Weaver was dominant on the hill. So the Angels continue to roll. Tonight, Baltimore and Boston. Oakland at the White Sox as Adam Dunn returns to U.S. Cellular Field. Houston is at Seattle as the Mariners right in the middle of that wild card race. So certainly Tiger fans, Royals fans, anyone that is in that mix. The Royals hope to not be in that mix and just win the division. But keep your eye on Seattle and that great pitching staff that they have.
All right, Joel. Here's Jason Frazier. Comes on with the runner at first, 2 down to get Ian Kinsler.
Joel, do you think this will be the year that Trout gets the MVP?
Yeah, Trout's going to win the MVP this year. I think there's no doubt about it. We've known all about, as we see the stolen base there, we've known all about the debate between the new school and the old school as far as the sabermetrics, and they all sided with Mike Trout versus Miguel Cabrera. Well, Cabrera's not having an MVP season. You can make an argument that Victor Martinez is. What's interesting on Mike Trout, and I really think he is going to win the MVP, is he's been more the home run and RBI type of hitter this year than he was in the past.
32 homers. We got a man there.
Line to left, and Alex makes the play.
32 homers, 102 ribbies for Trout this year.
Tigers scoreless in the 7th. They lead 8-4. Fox Sports Kansas City is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. That is the old site of Tiger Stadium, believe it or not. The corner, as the great broadcaster Ernie Harwell used to call it, the corner of Michigan and Trumbull. And they still play baseball on that site. And the flagpole is still in play. Today's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Corporation. Ryan Lefevre with Rex Hudler, Joel Goldberg, Jeff Montgomery, with director Steve Kurtenbach, producer Christian Roberts, associate producers Al Broughton, Sam Abramson, Dave Holtzman, and the producer of Royals Live is Brian Shapiro. So right down the road from Michigan and Trumbull to downtown Detroit, Comerica Park. And Jabba Chamberlain will come on in the 8th inning with a 4-run lead, and he gets the top of the Royals order.
Jabba go 92 to 95, maybe 96 with his fastball, slider, curve, and a change. He'll use them all. He's got some rather lively shoes. Colors. There's the splits. You can get to him.
Two 2-0 on Aoki. You know, I give Jabba credit. It was a milder summer than usual, but he kept that hair and that beard through the summer.
Sure did. It's gotten really bushy since opening day.
Now, when he was a Yankee, that might be a little too long for the Steinbrenner family, correct?
Yes, no facial hair allowed.
So all those years of having to shave before every game, and Jabba literally let it all grow out this year.
Yeah, you know, the Yankees farm system, that's where it all starts. Same with the Royals. The Royals have a very tightly run minor league system where they all are policed. Their uniforms are policed, blouse your pants, you know, and that's where you establish discipline. But the Yankees had a guy that would walk down the calisthenic line as you're doing your exercises each day, and he'd look at your uniform and he'd look at your hair, and he'd say, "Son, after the practice today, get that haircut." Yes, sir. It's like a drill sergeant they had walking up and down. They really policed it. So that's their policy.
Line to short and caught by Romine. The Tigers lead the season series with the Royals 9-4. There isn't a team out there that would rather have the Tigers bullpen instead of the Royals bullpen, and yet in this season series we've seen the best of the Tigers pen and the worst of the Royals pen.
Interesting.
So we'll see how Jabba Chamberlain and company do today. The Royals have had to use 4 relievers already today, and they have all been scoreless so far. Casey Coleman, Lewis Coleman, Scott Downs, Jason Frazier. One and one on Omar Infante. Omar is 0 for 3 today. One ball, 2 strikes.
I didn't see a Jabba Chamberlain tribute to Jeter yesterday, did you?
I did not. Castellanos, tough play. No play. Infante beats it out for an infield single.
Good hustle. You choose as a third baseman to back up on that long hop. That's what you get. Guy with any kind of speed is going to beat that out. See if they can get something going.
And now the former college teammates at Nebraska, Chamberlain and Alex Gordon. They have known each other since not only before Nebraska, but before high school. They played in the 2005 College World Series together.
Two for 4. Hadn't hit a home run off him yet, and if he did, get the Royals right back in it. Time's running out.
One ball, one strike. And like Alex, Jabba is from Lincoln, grew up in Lincoln, and didn't start pitching until his senior season of high school.
That's a good thing. Save wear and tear on that arm. A lot of young kids are blown out by then.
Alex is able to check, and it's 2-1. Jabba's birth name, it's not his legal name anymore, but his birth name is Justin. Jabba was a childhood nickname, and everybody started using it so much that he got it legally changed. So that is his legal name now. And like a lot of nicknames, especially for kids, it began when a younger relative could not pronounce his name correctly.
Huh.
J-O-B-A. Jabba.
Not many of those in Major League Baseball. I don't know.
You're right, there aren't many of them.
You think there ever was?
I don't know.
The game's been played a long time.
Go ahead, Holtzy. Look it up, Holtzy. Any
That's
other
right.
Jabbas in the history of Major League Baseball? I think Hud's right. I don't think there have been very many over the years. Just outside for a walk, and all of a sudden the potential tying run is on deck with one out.
Big hit coming up, hopefully. Ausmus now starting to think about what he's going to do.
And he's been sweating these games out for most of the year. And now a lot of those fragmented shadows have come together, so the hitters aren't having as difficult time as they were earlier in the game seeing the ball. Just little slivers of light.
Just keep it going. Don't have to have a big home run blast, although that'd be nice. Just keep it going. Got Hosmer on deck. Wait for your pitch.
And now pitching coach Jeff Jones goes out to have a chat with Jabba. Dave Holtzman, doing exhaustive research as he normally is, has yet to find another Jabba in Major League history. Still searching.
Might have been just an opportunity to get somebody else loose in that bullpen. That's Jeff Jones, our pitching coach, coming out there.
Got to pitch up. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Hanging slider.
Jabba Chamberlain back in 2011 had Tommy John surgery. There you go. You turn a negative into a positive. He's turned that scar into a smiley face. 2-1. Well, here's another guy similar to Justin Verlander. Still has the ability to be effective and get outs, but doing it in a different way. There was a time when Chamberlain, pitching out of the Yankee bullpen, he was 98, 99, 100. One pitch after another. Sal lines it foul. Wow.
Ooh, man. Just couldn't talk that into staying fair. Good shot. Similar pitch that he missed in the previous pitch. Breaking ball out over the plate. Just a little bit top hand dominant.
That was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. He made contact. I thought that was going to be well foul. 2-2. Got the call. You hardly ever see Sal argue with a home plate umpire. And he knows the strike zone of Paul Emmel because he's been back of the plate all day.
Ooh, man, that was off the plate. Salvi knew it. Good pitch by Chamberlain, though. They had him up, set up in there. Avila was looking for that inside fastball, and he got it. Well, if Jabba was watching Verlander pitch to Hosmer, he'll know not to throw him anything neck high out over the middle of the plate. 2 base hits he's gotten have been all up in the zone, and he's pounding.
One ball, one strike. Well, let's see. We are just under 3 hours. The game across the street should start in minutes. I was just outside. And now Hosmer had 2 balls and 1 strike.
Haas waiting for a pitch out over the middle.
2-2.
Better breaking ball there than the 2 he threw to Salvi. Fouled it off of Avila's right hand. Ooh, man, that hit right off his knuckles.
He and Hosmer grew up in the same area in Miami. 30,758 here today. Crowd has thinned out quite a bit as we get closer to kickoff across the street. Up the middle and into center field. Eric Hosmer drives in a run. He has 3 hits today, and now the potential tying run comes to the plate.
Stayed on top of the ball and got some top spin. Second bounce is through. Find a hole. Alex, he wasn't sure about going to third. He said, you know what? Kelly was playing pretty deep. I think I'm going to third base. Why not? Orioles creeping back in.
Billy today is 0 for 3. He does have an RBI.
He's due to change that 0 for 6.
He does have 3 walks against Chamberlain. No balls, 2 strikes.
Keep the line moving.
Fastball at 95, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hit hard to Kinsler, who has it bounce off of his chest. And that's the inning. So the Royals threaten for a big inning, but they get just one against, we believe, the only Jabba in Major League history.
That's right.
It's 8-5 after the Royals got 2 in the 7th inning, 1 in the 8th. This was the most exciting play of the game for the Royals on offense.
Sure was, man. Once they went down, I was watching the ball. Next thing you knew, I saw Lorenzo Cain rounding third. Man, he wasn't messing around. Hunter hit his head. He's okay. He stayed in the game. He's saying the ball's over there. And Cain's right there with it inside the park.
And our Chrysler drive of the game. And it's Torrey Hunter, followed by Miguel Cabrera and Victor Martinez in the bottom of the 8th inning against Jason Frazier.
That was the first inside the Parker for Lorenzo Cain in his career. See flashes of Willie Wilson running the bases there when he ran them 4 bags.
A little different style of running, but probably the same speed, or close to the same speed. Now Torrey Hunter begins the inning by driving it off the wall. Alex decides to hang on to it. Torrey Hunter has 3 hits, and at second base with nobody out.
Slider. Guess where it was? Right in the middle. Hitter makes that kind of solid contact on a ball like that, you know, is a mistake. Frazier likes to put that slider on the outer half.
Now Miguel Cabrera. Here the Tigers have 8 runs, 14 hits. And now Hunter will go to third. 8 runs, 14 hits for the Tigers, and Miguel Cabrera to this point has played a minor role.
You believe him. Cabrera, 11 straight consecutive seasons he's driven in at least 100 runs. Boy, that's some kind of consistent work. Infield in. Only 31 years old, Cabrera.
That ricocheted off of Sal's mask. One. Jason Frazier, he was from Chicago. He was drafted by the Tigers. He never got to the big leagues with them, but because of his size, he was taken in the 33rd round out of Southern Illinois University. Traded to the Dodgers, traded to the Blue Jays, where he finally got to the big leagues. Base hit left field, and the Tigers are back out to a 4-run lead. ...101 RBIs for Miguel Cabrera.
Infield in. Cabrera, he knew what to do, just trying to make some solid contact, find a hole, and he did. Incredible production. And he's been doing it the last couple of seasons hurt. Seeing more and more hitters, players, use that mouthpiece like Martinez has. Eric Hosmer, he had one of those mouthpieces in for batting practice today, and I asked him, I said, are you going to start wearing one of those mouthpieces too? He goes, I don't know, I'm going to try it. Just to give you something to grind on besides your teeth.
One and one on Victor Martinez, 3 singles. An RBI and a run scored.
Victor probably told Salvi, hey, Cabrera's not going anywhere.
Nobody out.
2-1. Tigers scored 2 in the second inning. 2 unearned runs. The Royals tied it at 2 in the third inning, and the Tigers got 6 in the third, and they hadn't scored since the third inning. And as the Royals got back into the game, they got 2 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th. They had the tying run at the plate, batting in the top of the 8th inning. Chamberlain got out of it after allowing just 1 run, and now the Tigers have gotten a run back. Grounded to Hosmer. Good chance for 2, and the Royals turn it.
The old 3-6-1. Frazier, he gets over there quickly. He 2-hands the ball back to Escobar, just making sure he had it. Look at Eric. Picks it and fires. Great arm. It's a good thing Escobar didn't throw that 90-mile-an-hour fastball he's got from shortstop there. Might have had a hard time catching it over there, Frazier. He just lobbed it over there.
JD Martinez takes a strike. He is 1 for 4 with a run scored. He has made 2 very good plays in left field. And he avoided grounding into a double play when he reached on a fielder's choice back in the 3rd inning. And that helped get the Tigers going, and they went on to score 6. Could have been a much different inning had Martinez not hustled up the line the way that he did and just beat a potential double play. To Moustakas, handles a tough hop and throws him out. Tigers get a run. We go to the 9th inning. The Royals are down by 4, getting ready to face Joe Nathan. Nine runs, 6 of those in 1 inning. A 6-run bottom of the 3rd. Joe Nathan in a non-save situation. He has 6 blown saves. So he has a little more room to work with today. With a 4-run lead, he'll get Moustakas, Kane, and Escobar.
See the opponent average at 264. You can hit him. He's not overpowering closer. Sinking fastball. He'll cut his fastball. He's got some good movement on his fastball, and then curveball changeup.
Moustakas is 1 for 3. He had an infield single and a run scored back in the 3rd inning. It's been a rough first year for Joe Nathan in Detroit, to a point where the fans were getting on him so badly here that even when he got a save that night, he made a couple of gestures to the crowd and apologized on several occasions after that, explaining that while he may not show it on the mound, he's just as frustrated as the fans are. And he falls behind 3-0 on Moustakas.
So time to make him and Osmus a little nervous here. Get a few guys on, see what they can do. Yeah, you know, those gestures, I saw those, you know, and I'm sure that he regrets doing that, but man, you can't do that to a crowd.
That's a battle you almost always lose.
Yep. He didn't do it once, he did it twice.
Full count on Moustakas. Verlander went 7. He gave up 4 runs. Chamberlain 1 inning. He gave up 1 run. This is Ezekiel Carrera now in center field. He'll make the play. 3rd time tonight that Moustakas has flied to center. 1 down in the 9th. Coming up after the game, Boulevard Royals Live with Joel and Monty. Royals got 4 more runs against Justin Verlander, but the Tigers scored 8 runs against Jeremy Guthrie. 2 of the runs were unearned. So they'll talk pitching. Get reaction from Ned Yost in the Royals clubhouse. Another reaction from the Royals clubhouse. Ball 1 to Lorenzo Cain.
That's a good sign to see Moose. He went straight away center field. Too bad he can't just get that bat head out a little bit more. He'd have had a couple of homers if he hits a couple of those balls to right field.
Right behind Mike Jershely is Joakim Soria, the former Royals closer, who's on the disabled list right now with a strained muscle on his side. He pitched a simulated game last couple of days, so he's closer to returning. Two and 2. Full count. Lorenzo almost leaned into that pitch. It's been a tough go for the bullpen. 12th in ERA, 2nd from the bottom in innings, meaning 2nd most innings. They have the lowest or highest opponent's batting average, and they've allowed the 3rd most inherited runners to score. Two down. Let me take that back. They have had the fewest innings pitched of any bullpen in the American League, which is interesting because most bullpens that struggle are throwing a lot of innings, and the starters are just wearing them out. But for the most part, this has been a rested bullpen because of the experience in their rotation, and they still had a lot of trouble. Strike to Alcides Escobar. Esky is a tough luck 0 for 2. He's dropped down a sac bunt, but he's been victimized twice by good outfield defense. Once by Kelly in center field, and the other by Martinez in left. 1 ball, 1 strike. Again, Carrera in center field. He'll make the play, and the Tigers take game 1 of the 3-game series. Final score 9-5, and The Tigers pick up a game in the standings from the Royals. 9 runs, 8 of those scored in the first 3 innings. And now the Tigers are 10-4 against the Royals this year.
Yep, it's unfortunate for Guthrie. So many runs in that 3rd inning. The 6 runs really hurt him. Couldn't come back, but nice to see the Royals mount some rallies and get back in the game at least.
We'll talk more about it when we come back.